Hi, here we go with another list. This time I think I'm doing my first ever top 10. Maybe it's not my first ever top 10 and I've forgotten about it, but it is a top 10 because, you know, people search top 10 more than they do top 11 or top 9 or top 13 or something like that. So I am conforming. And this list is going to be about fragrances that I think are going to go up in value for various reasons. So there's 10 of these and I want to kick off immediately because time is of the essence. And the first one that I want to talk about is this one right here. This is, I don't know if you can read that. It says Guerlain Homme. Guerlain Homme, what a beautiful scent. What an absolutely stunning banger of a scent. Guerlain, you really can't go too wrong with it. There's a whole story behind this because I think this was Thierry Wasser's first fragrance for men, I think, ever since Jean-Paul Guerlain got ousted from the helm, I think because he made some pretty racist remarks from memory is what I remember. And so Thierry Wasser came in and he was sort of like the prodigy that came in and people were like, ooh, this is the first time that a non-Guerlain guy has started to make sense for Guerlain. And so he was under a lot of pressure. And I think he actually did really, really well with this. It is a mojito kind of vibe, if I could say that. It's got mint and rum and lime and all of that. So it's a very summery kind of fragrance, but it also lasts the distance in terms of longevity. And I really like it. I've got this bottle, I've got a smaller bottle as well. And I've also got the intense version. I think there's an intense version as well, which I've got somewhere as well. And there's a Pininfarina design as well. When Pininfarina also designed the metal sort of plaque that goes over the top of this. I don't know if you can see the ridges there. It's supposed to look like the bonnet of a car because Pininfarina are car designers. Anyway, the scent itself. Why do I think this is going to go up in value? Well, it has been reformulated. It did come back as an eau de parfum. This is an eau de toilette. And of course, people say that the scent has changed. I haven't smelled the eau de parfum, but I've read so many sort of takes on it and seen reviews of it saying that the scent has kind of changed. It's kind of lost its sparkle. There was some other flankers of this. There's the L'Eau Boisée, and then there was the Guerlain Homme L'Eau just by itself, which in my opinion is the best smelling of all of them, which I don't have, but it's the best smelling of all of them because I've actually had a decant of that and L'Eau Boisée as well. Now, this I think is going to go up in value because those have already gone up in value, especially the L'Eau, because it's really hard to find and it was the best interpretation of what they were trying to do here. Having said that, even the reformulations of this have now gone up in price. When I actually looked at it last time to purchase, it's actually gone up by like almost 50% in price. Once those get discontinued, and they will get discontinued pretty soon, I think, if they haven't already, because they've gone to the new squarish sort of bottle design Guerlain has, and it's really plain and I don't like it. But that's not up to me to say. However, I think that they are going to drop this, and when they do drop it, people are going to be like, that was a really good scent. That was a really good scent. And I do miss those bottles and I do miss that scent. It was a really high quality scent and we could have had it for such a low price, but we'd never bought it. It's going to be one of those situations. Mark my words. So keep an eye out. If you can get these. The eau de toilettes are, I think, more appropriate for a summer scent because they do the projection a little bit better and they don't sit on your skin as an eau de parfum usually does. Anyway, that's the first one. The next one in this list of fragrances that I think are going to go up in value is this one right here. This is One Man Show by Jacques Bogart. This is the Oud edition. No, I'm just kidding. I thought I'd throw that in there for a joke, but yeah. Oud edition, gotta love it. You know, maybe if I want to like strip the varnish off my floorboards, I might use this. But I was using this as like a repellent for people during like the ye olde virus of unknown origin times, to keep people to socially distance away from me. I used to wear this, and so this kept like people at least a couple of meters away from me. Yeah, it's that strong and synthetic. Wow. Anyway, the only way that that would go up in value is if there was a shortage on chemical cleaning agents or something like that. Let's move on with the real list. This fragrance has been called many names before it's been called the current name. It used to be called Bois Noir, which is wood black. And then it was called L'Egoiste. Nothing to do with Lego. It's like the Egoiste or something like that. And then they just changed it to just plain Egoiste, which is what I've got here. So this is not a vintage by any means, but I mean, it's not the current formulation by any means either. This is a great scent. This one Chanel did very, very well. You know I'm not the biggest Chanel fan. You might not know I'm not the biggest Chanel fan. Now you do. They did this really, really well. That's why I've got one. That's why I've got one. And that's why I've worn it quite a bit as well in terms of, you know, wearing Chanel scents. I think this is going to go up in value. It already has started to go up in value. If you can get the original formulation, if you can get Bois Noir, that's going to be like really rare. If you can get the L'Egoiste, that's also going to be quite rare. But if you can get a vintage Egoiste, that also is going to be very high in price. The current formulation, I think, doesn't do it justice, which I've smelled in department stores because like the department stores here still have it apparently, but that's going to disappear quite soon as well. I think the Platinum Egoiste is a lot more popular, sells a lot more. This is kind of getting a bit old hat even for Chanel, and so they're probably going to try and move it on. As beautiful as this scent is, I think it's going to disappear quite soon, and therefore prices are going to go astronomical. If you've ever seen the prices for the concentrate version of this, is it the concentrate version? I think there's a concentrate version. Yes, there is a concentrate version, which I think came out in like the early 90s or something like that. It was richer, it was a fuller, it was a darker sort of version. I do not recall ever seeing it, even though I'm saying that, but that's the marketing spiel of it. And a richer, darker, fuller version of this would be fantastic, but again, it's super rare and it's super expensive. They might be going for like $800-900 a bottle. This isn't too long until it follows suit. Keep your eye out. It's a great scent. Spend money on fragrances, he says. Follow me for more financial advice, he says. Don't listen to me. That's what I say. But continue watching. That's fine. Okay, number 3 on this list is this one right here. This is Insense by Givenchy. Now, if you want to know what I think about this, please watch the episode that I did on this in the Unicorns series that I made. Now, I made a whole series of videos called Unicorns based off fragrances that are super rare, very hard to find, and highly coveted. This was one of them. I put a lot of effort into that one. Watch it. Now, watch it after this, and binge watch the rest of my stuff because it's worthwhile. You're worth it too, that's why. Anyway, Insense, great fragrance, came out early 90s. It just came out at the wrong time. It was too futuristic. It was the wrong time. It captured the incorrect zeitgeist, as a matter of fact. And for the longest time, nobody cared about it until some fragrance people started to hype it up, saying that this is a brilliant, phenomenal sort of woody floral scent for men. And it started to creep up in price. And the ones that you could find on the grey market were extremely expensive, especially the ones that I saw. However, recently, as in this year, I've seen a whole bunch of vintage stock come up at discounters, and they were going for around 150 Australian dollars, which is like $7 US or something like that. So it's pretty damn cheap to get yourself a 50 ml of this fragrance, because once that vintage stock runs dry, it's gonna go sky high once again, because it already has. It's already proven that it has, and it's just gonna happen again once that old stock runs out from the discounters. So if you can, while you can, grab it. I think it's a great scent. I really do. And I think that it's a niche scent from the past, and when it was released in the past, it was a niche scent from the future that had been sent to the past to tell us this is what niche scents smell like in the future. However, I don't think I've smelled anything like this in the current day either. Damn, really nice. Insense, Givenchy. Okay, the next one I've talked about previously as well, and even though I don't think this fragrance is going to be worth a lot in the grey market because, well, it's a CK scent. The one I'm talking about here is CK2, and it comes in this funky sort of bottle, which is upside down on a base like this. I really like it. I really like this scent. It kind of smells like mineralic water, and it hangs around for quite a long time. I think it's done quite well in terms of what it's trying to achieve. I think it's a summer scent for the kind of man who, you know, lives in a house that's furnished with concrete furniture. I don't know. I'm just saying shit. But I think it's a really good scent. And the fact that it got discontinued quietly, as all CK scents do when they get discontinued quietly, because no one gives a shit about CK scents and them being discontinued. But you should give a shit about this one, because I think that this one is going to go up in price. Matter of fact, I've seen them trying to hawk this for almost $200 a bottle already. And I'm pretty sure that if you find a discounter, they would still have it for its actual price that they were selling it at for the number of years preceding this, for around $20 or something, which is what I think I paid for this one. So yeah, grab it for $20. It's a steal, but definitely going to go up in value. Even though it's a CK scent, there's probably going to be some quiet hype about this one as a cheapie, to put in a cheapies list, and something that's, you know, people are going to flex with, going, hey, look at, you know, CK sometimes have those sort of quiet sort of bangers, you know, like the amber, the one with the amber gold, whatever that is, the CK Euphoria amber gold. I get all the time people saying you should try that. It's not in my area of the world, unfortunately, and I'm not going to front up that much money for a CK. I could just get a niche scent instead. But before this gets to that particular territory, I'd say keep an eye on it. If you're looking for something different, this is probably something different that you probably haven't smelled, or have something similar in your collection. And I do have a fragrance that smells very similar to this. It's by Atelier des Ors, of all houses, and it's called Pomelo Riviera. I think it's called Pomelo Riviera, something like that. And the thing that has that this doesn't have is a beautiful pomelo note. If you don't know pomelo, it's like, I don't know, Chinese grapefruit or something like that. It's like a grapefruity kind of scent, and it's got this in the dry down. And so when it dried down and that pomelo sort of dissipated, it turned into CK2. However, if you want to get to the dry down of that without, you know, splurging that much money, then you could probably find this pretty cheap and wear it and smell like water, basically, like bubbles. It smells like bubbles and water. It's weird. It's a very synthetic scent, but I think it's done really well, and I actually enjoy wearing it. So there you go, CK2 for men. Okay, so it should come as no surprise that that this particular fragrance is in this list as well. It's this one right here. It's the Hockey Puck. It is Bvlgari's Black. Okay, never liked this scent very much, and it has been discontinued, and it's been discontinued recently. And why, I don't know why I needed to smell it, because I don't know, it's just a habit that I'm doing now. As soon as I pick up a bottle, I have to smell it. It might just be a fragrance reviewer thing. I don't know. Tell me about it. Anyway, this got compared to Midnight in Paris by Van Cleef & Arpels. They're kind of similar, but they're not really that similar. Van Cleef & Arpels Midnight in Paris is actually a much better fragrance than this is in terms of what it does. Great. That used to be cheaper than this. Now that thing is ridiculous in price. This has been discontinued, and if that's any indication, then this is probably going to go stupid crazy high in prices as well, if it hasn't already. And I've seen some places and some sellers trying to sell it for almost that much already. I think that it's not worth it, but if you can find it in its original discounted price, grab it if you like this kind of scent profile, because it is going to increase in price very, very shortly. And one special tip is that all of the new ones, this is a reformulation, by the way, they come with like a detachable cap, right? The original, when it came out, was a twist and press spray inbuilt into the bottle, the Hockey Puck bottle itself. So if you see one of those where the atomizer is built into the bottle, that's an original formulation of Bvlgari Black. something you don't hear every day. Mark my words, I said to my wife about this particular fragrance when I said nobody liked this. Everyone was saying it's crap. What is this scent? This is ridiculous. How can they possibly release something like this? And then slowly some people started to catch on and say, no, I actually think this is a great scent and I really, really like it, me included. And it got discontinued just recently. And I said to my wife a couple of years before that happened, I said, when this gets discontinued, it's going to be one of those ones. It's going to be one of those ones where it got discontinued because it didn't sell very well. And it didn't sell very well because it's made by a designer house and it's in a line that is a really easygoing sort of fragrance to wear. So, people who aren't into fragrances or colognes would wear the original to this. And this flanker came out. And if you were wearing the original to this and you smelled this new flanker, you'd be like, what the fuck? What is this? What is this trash? What is this garbage? Because your nose just wouldn't be expecting that. Your brain wouldn't be expecting that. And your expectations would have let you down. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this one right here. This is one of my loves, right? As you see, as strong as it is, I've worn it quite a bit. This is Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Homme Leather Factory, for sure. Man, do I love it. Oh my God. I even over apply this when I wear it because I just want to radiate this kind of shit. Anyway, this has already started to go up in price, but because it was so unpopular, there should be a ton of stock out there that is unsold, and it should still be hanging around at some places, some chemists, some websites, whatever, that don't know about this, and you should still be able to find it and pick it up. Should you pay inflated prices for this one? I think if you're paying a little bit more than what it used to retail at, it's still an okay buy because it's just so different, and I don't think Gucci will do this ever again because they learned their lesson releasing something so bold and daring because they just didn't sell it. That's all. So yeah, they might be getting better at learning their lessons. So if you can find it, I would recommend to grab it. But again, it is a divisive scent. But the good thing about that is if you're one of those people that don't like this, you could easily sell it on more than what you bought it for anyway to someone who does actually really like it. So yes, so these came in a 50, 100 and a big 150 ml bottle. I've resisted the urge to buy a backup of this because I really don't think that I actually get through it all. And when I do get through it all, I'll probably be over the scent profile already. So I have this and this is enough for me. Recommend that you check this out. Gucci Guilty Absolute Pour Homme. Okay, the next one, which is the third last one in this list, is this one right here. It is Dior's Sauvage Parfum 2017. Now, the 2012 one has obviously been discontinued because it got replaced with the 2017 one. And we've seen what's happened to the prices on the 2012 one. They've gone astronomical. Now, I genuinely prefer this version over the previous version, and that's just because of my tastes and what I prefer. I like LME resin, which this has a ton of, and I really, really enjoy that. However, I'm pretty sure Dior was axing, at some point they were axing all of their parfums, like as in the coveted trio of Dior parfums of Eau Sauvage Parfum, Fahrenheit Le Parfum, and Dior Homme Parfum. Now Dior Homme Parfum, it comes in a new bottle. It's the same formula, mixed reports, and I don't want to go into that. I think the Fahrenheit Le Parfum is also getting a bit harder to find as well. This is still around. However, I'm pretty sure the days of this are numbered as well, and they are going to disappear it pretty quickly if it hasn't been already. And when they do, have a look at what happened to the 2012 one. It's going to do the same thing to this one. This was pretty popular, but it wasn't as popular as just regular Eau Sauvage Eau de Toilette. That'll keep going probably forever because there's a dedicated cohort of people who will continue to buy that and only wear that. So there's a good turnover for Eau Sauvage Eau de Toilette. There probably isn't enough for this one. And therefore, I'm saying get it. It's a fantastic scent. It's a fantastic scent. I can't even describe it. It's supposed to be a citrus aromatic, but it's so smooth. It's so well rounded. There's no sharp edges to it, and the projection is beautiful. It's classy. It's elegant. I would imagine it's a suit. It's a suit, but no tie. kind of fragrance. That's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining that there was a tie, but the tie came off later in the night after a few drinks, and this kept on radiating just out of here like that, and it just exudes class all the way. I absolutely adore this fragrance, and this is one of the ones that I bought at full retail as well, worth every penny, but I think it's going to be a many pennies more pretty soon. All right, the next one is the formidable Acqua di Gio Profumo. Now, when this came out, it knocked everybody's socks right off, and everyone got interested in the Acqua di Gio line, which was pretty much stagnated for like 20 years plus, right? And then this comes along and everyone's like, wow, amazing. I want this. Ridiculous. So good. All right, I'll never run out of this. It's a parfum concentration, and it's a 180 ml bottle. So I'll never run out of it. I think I've used up maybe like 20% of it. Okay, this is already discontinued, but because this was such a big seller, there are going to be lots of people who have a bottle of this. And there's going to be a lot of stock hanging around as well. So it's going to be a while until prices start to really go up. I think, if they haven't already. But I think that once they do, the amount of people that really enjoyed this scent that can no longer enjoy this scent because it's been replaced by Profondo and Profondo Light or whatever it's called, which I didn't like, or the Parfum, which isn't as nice for some reason. I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be after this. And what happens when there's a large demand and a limited supply? Basic economics states that the price is going to go up. And so before it does, I'm warning you now, if you really enjoyed this, if you are on your way out of your bottle and you're looking for a replacement, you better hurry up, because this is going to go astronomical. Acqua di Gio Profumo. Not much else to be said. All right, and the last one in this list is this one right here. It is Florabotanica by Balenciaga. Now, this is special to me because it's one of the very few rose forward scents that I not only don't hate, I actually really enjoy. And I have worn this quite a bit. This has been discontinued already, I think as of over 2 years ago now. And the fact that it was really popular, again, it means that there was a ton of people that had it, a ton of people that bought it. This and its twin almost, called Rosa Botanica, they've both been discontinued. I think Rosa Botanica got discontinued first, and it's a weird name because Rosa Botanica, well, it's not as rose forward as Florabotanica, which is really weird. But anyway, rose and mint, what I get from this, and I've always described this as walking into a florist shop and smelling the stems of roses that have just been freshly cut and strewn on a wet and damp concrete floor of a florist. That is probably the best scenario and description anyone can give of this particular scent. It also has a note of cannabis in it, which I don't smell. Kind of familiar with how that smells. Shut up. Anyway, I think if the prices for Rosa Botanica have gone up, Rosa Botanica's prices have gone up already, and I've seen people trying to hawk it for like ridiculous amounts. This is on its way if it's not there already, even though there was more of this sold than that. That's why there's more of a supply of this, and there's probably a better chance of you grabbing it at a reasonable price, but it won't be long until this goes the way of its sister, Rosa Botanica, in terms of prices. It's going to go stratospheric into the sky, not only for its scent, but because, you know, the bottle itself is quite unique, and it's you know, based off like some design that they had on their dresses or something like that. Even the box itself with its sort of design language there, which was supposed to be a pattern on their dresses or their clothes or something like that. I think that, yeah, it's somewhat of a collector's piece, therefore I'd suggest you grab it. You know, if you like this kind of scent and you're looking for something like this, and you're looking for something that's going to go up in value, or not in value but in price, mark my words, all of these scents, they're probably going to go up in price. They're going to go up in price whether you like it or not. You know, money loses value over time, and that's why things get more expensive due to things like that, and inflation, and printing more money, and that kind of stuff. But this is going to go faster than that, in terms of they're not making this anymore. There's people that really liked it and they can't have it anymore. So if they want it, they're going to have to pay more for it. So before that happens, get onto it. So that's the list I did for you as a PSA, just to make sure that you're getting the best value for your money. And until I see you again, as always, thanks for watching.